you ever stuck in a situation like this? Look, I'm handcuffed, right? I cannot escape, I cannot get out. You're gonna use whatever they have you tied up with, okay? So right now, I have a tie. They use a tie on me. I'm gonna show you guys how to escape if you're ever in a situation like this, okay? So I have my tie. This is what they use. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna feed it through, okay? So this is tight, right? I'm gonna feed it through like this. There we go, like that. It's going through. See that? It's really, really tight. As you can see, it's tight, right? I cannot get this off my foot. I'm stuck. I'm handcuffed. As you can see, I'm handcuffed, right? So in a situation, you're going to use whatever they use around you, whatever you have around you, you're going to use that, okay? So right now, I'm going to use a little bit of water, but in a situation like this, you don't have water, so you use your saliva. But right now, I'm going to use my water. And this is going to help create less friction in between the skin and your cloth, okay? So I'm going to put it right there. There we go. That's enough. Okay, I would use saliva if I did not have water, but right now I'm just going to use water for educational purposes. So now see how it really slips through a lot easier now, right? So I'm going to grab the rest of my tie. For those of you coming in, I'm handcuffed right now. I cannot get out. My foot is handcuffed. I cannot escape this, okay? So I'm going to get out using a tie. So I have one loop inside. Now I'm going to feed it through. I'm going to go all the way until you get to the skinny side, okay? All the way to the skinny side. Now, once you're to the skinny side of the tie, you're going to tie it together. You're going to create a knot, okay? This has to be a very secure knot. This is a very, very important step. It has to be secure, okay? So as you can see here, the other handcuff, right? Make sure you can see both handcuffs right here. So I'm going to create a knot. It's going to be very tight. So I'm going to have to do a double knot. There we go. Double knot. Tighten it really tight. Really, really, really tight. There we go. There we go. It has to be so tight that when you pull it, it's not going to slip off. It's not going to slip away, okay? Super tight. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to get more water. And in a situation like this, you don't have water, you use saliva. Okay, but I'm going to make sure it touches my skin and it goes in between my skin and the handcuff. Okay, it's going to create less friction and that's going to help us get the handcuff off of my foot. As you can see, I'm handcuffed. I'm really stuck. I cannot escape this. Okay, handcuffs are really hard to escape. So now I have my double knot. It has to be double knot. I'm going to get the rest of my tie, okay? The thick part, you want the thick part. It's going to go through. I know it's very, very limited space, right? I can barely fit my finger through. See, I can barely fit my finger through. Very limited space, so you have to squeeze it in, okay? You have to squeeze it in, use your thumb, squeeze it in. There we go. There we go. See? You see it? Okay, it's a lot of friction. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some more water right in between the skin and the tie. There we go, like that. You wouldn't have water in a situation like this, but you would just use your saliva, but I'm gonna use water, okay? It's gonna create less friction. See, it's nice and wet now on my skin. So now I can actually slide the cloth through the handcuff, go all the way, okay? Starting on the thicker side, okay? And I'm just using whatever is around me, okay? I had a tie on my mouth, so I'm gonna use the tie to my advantage, okay? You may have some duct tape, okay? You can do this with duct tape. You may have a belt. You can do this with belts. You can use whatever you have around you. And it might take a little time, but it's worth it in a situation like this. This could really save your life, okay? So I'm going through, as you can see. Let's recap. I have my knot. It's a double knot, okay? I'm handcuffed. Cannot escape. I cannot escape. See this? I'm handcuffed, right? Cannot escape. Can definitely not escape. So I have my double knot. I'm feeding through the tie into the handcuff. I did one loop already, and I'm making a second loop around the handcuff, okay? So let's go all the way, all the way, all the way. And you want to spread the loop out. You don't want it to be too close to the knot. Very important. Very important. So you're going to scoot the loop away. There we go. Just kind of, yep, there we go. Like so. See how it's very far away, okay? You can't have it be this close, okay, to the knot. It has to be spread out. Spread it out like this. There we go. Spread it out and really tighten it by pulling on the tie. See how I'm maximizing the amount of a material that I have by pulling really hard, okay? So now let's get some more water. See how tight, it's so tight in here, super tight. I'm gonna get some more water. There we go. There we go, okay? In a situation like this, I would just use my saliva, but I'm gonna use some water right now, okay? So I'm gonna use that water to create less friction because it's really tight. There's a lot of friction between the handcuff, okay? So I would use that to create less friction so I can feed my cloth through once more. It's gonna get even tighter and tighter the more loops that we get through. Even tighter and tighter. Okay, let's keep going. Keep going. You see the tip right there? We're starting with a thick one, okay? What we did with the thin part is we created a double knot, okay? It has to be a double knot. It has to be extremely secure, okay? You'll see why in a second. I'm about to escape the handcuffs. I'm really stuck. I cannot leave. I will not be able to run away. This is an emergency situation, and this technique can save your life, okay? So I'm feeding it through. This is the third loop, okay? So we're going through, and it has to be the thick side. The thin side was used for the knots, okay? So let's feed it through. Feed it through. I'm going the wrong way. Let's go away from the knot. So the loops are going away from the knot, okay? Away from the knot. Keep going. It's really tight. See how tight it is? Okay, it's a little too tight. So I'm gonna use my liquid, in this case, water, but you could use your saliva, okay? It will take a little longer with saliva. See, make sure it's wet here. You want the water in between the skin and the handcuff, okay? It's gonna create less friction so we can slide the material through the handcuff, okay? So let's go. Let's keep going. Keep pulling. It's tight. It's really, really tight. Really tight. Okay, We're going through. Make sure it's spread out from the second loop, okay? You want to spread it out as far as possible. There we go. Spread out. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, it's going. It's really tight. Make sure to really pull. Pull hard, and there we go. It's through. And now see how it's loose right here? We cannot have the loops be loose. As you can see, we have a knot right here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it to its fullest potential and make sure that the loops are spread out, okay? Really pull, and spread the loops out. There we go. Okay, so what we have so far, as you can see, right? Handcuff right here. Cannot get out of the handcuff, right? Cannot get out of this handcuff. It's really stuck. I would not be able to run away, okay? So what I did is I have 2 knots. I'm using whatever I have around me. In a situation like this, I have a tie that was used around me. You could use any other cloth with this. You could use a belt. You could use other stuff, okay? Even underwear. You can use it. Just use whatever you have around you. It could save your life, okay? So now, the final loop, okay? So what I'm going to do is you can see right here. See this piece of cloth right here? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go around the leg, onto the side. We're going to meet the loop, okay? Careful, the handcuff is going to be very tight on your skin. We're going to meet the loop. Okay, here's the loop. Here's the thick part of my tie right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see where the chain is. See where the chain is right here. Right now I have a long chain on me, long chain. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the thick part, the long, thick part of the tie. You want to go feed it through where the key would be. Okay, this is the keyhole, right? So we're going to feed it through where the keyhole is supposed to go. And this is the final loop, okay? So let's keep going, like so. Keep going. It's going to be very tight. This is the final loop, so there's a lot of material around the handcuff, so it's even tighter now, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my water. There we go. That's enough. I would use my saliva in a situation like this, but right now I'm going to use my water, and you want to make sure it hits the skin, okay? Because what's happening right now is there is a lot of friction in between the handcuff and my skin, okay? So there we go. Make it nice and wet. There we go. We're going to pull through. This is the final loop, and I'm going to escape. I'm going to get out of these handcuffs that are around my foot. I'm going to escape, okay? So I'm going through. This one's going to be very tight, okay? I have this much material to work with. This one's very tight, and you want to make sure it's where the keyhole is. See, the keyhole's right here. That it's very important that you go through the keyhole. Okay, there we go. Really pull it through. Not all the way, okay? Just a little chunk, just enough. There we go. That's enough, okay? You see how much material I have? What we're going to do is we're going to create one last knot, okay? So remember, we have 1 knot here, right? 1 knot. This is a double tied knot right here. What we're going to do, we're going to create a final knot, okay? So do you see this little loop right here on the tie, okay? This little loop is what's going to save our life here, okay? So what we're going to do, get that last bit, that little end, the other end of your tie, and you're going to feed it through this secret loop on the back of this tie, okay? All ties have this. All ties have this. It's where you actually put the other end of the tie inside. So that's exactly what we're doing. So look at this, okay? I have this piece. See this? It's right where the keyhole is, okay? It has to be where the keyhole is, where the chain is. This is the strongest part of the handcuff. So we're gonna go through, and we're gonna make a knot, our last knot, and then we're gonna escape, okay? Okay, just careful. This might be tight. We're gonna make a knot. If you need more material, just feed it through the handcuff. There we go. Okay. Now what you want to do, see this? We're going to make this into one last knot. You want to make sure that the knot is secure, okay? One last knot. See? Now we're just going to tie this around. There we go. Make a knot. Make a knot. Oh, make a knot. Super tight. Super tight. Okay, we're about to get out now, okay? Now, final part. As you can see, we have a loop, 1 loop. We have a second loop right here. Make sure it's spread out and make sure they're close to each other. See how both loops are close to each other? As you can see, I am tied up. This is a handcuff. Okay, I'm using a tie to escape. Now, very important. Twist the handcuff. Twist the handcuff carefully. There we go. Do you see this extra loop right here? This extra loop, all of this. See, so we created an entire loop with a tie because we did 2 knots around the handcuff. We have enough material around the handcuff, okay? So that's really gonna get a good grip on the handcuff. So we have this loop. This loop is the most important part, okay? Make sure that everything is tight. See how I'm pulling? It's super tight. Okay, good. Now we're about to get out. See this loop right here? You see this loop? Okay. Now watch what we do. I'm gonna get this loop. See my other foot? My other foot is free. Okay. Now put your foot through the loop. Not fully, just enough so that the material lies on the base of your base of my foot, right? At the base of my foot, not at the bottom, not at the top. It has to be at the base of your foot in the middle part, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I am gonna pull. I'm gonna use this foot to pull, and I'm gonna pull, and I'm gonna get myself out by pulling, pull, and at the same time you're pushing the handcuff off of your foot, okay? Pull. Keep going.